Hello, this is Rohan, and today, because this is 3 years since my first upload, I decided that again I'll do another video that's very different to what I usually upload. So yeah, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at my favorite game intros. So yeah, I guess I should mention what those are. Basically, it's pretty simple. When you build the game, there's normally like this cinematic that comes up that shows, you know, what you're getting yourself into. And yeah, a lot of games use these, and I think they still use them even to this day. But yeah, one thing about game intros though is it felt like they were much more prevalent during like the 90s and stuff. There's very good reasons for that, I feel like. Because yeah, we're talking like the PS1 era. Because yeah, in the PS1 era, CD technology is now a thing. And yeah, it kind of outclassed cartridges at that point in time. So yeah, one of the main reasons why is you could fit so much onto these CDs. It was quite insane. And yeah, a lot of game companies decided they were going to put in MFVs, or CGI cutscenes, or whatever you want to call them, into their games. And yeah, a lot of these are used for their intros to really hook in the player and basically show that yeah, this is what this game is all about, and also yeah, showcase the technology at the time as well. It's really interesting stuff to think about. But yeah, other than that though, yeah, game intros still be around, and yeah, they can definitely really help show off what this new console could do, what this new game in the series does differently to the last, you know, all that good stuff. But anyway, so yeah, why is a good intro important? Well yeah, it can definitely hype up the player, get them really interested in what they're going to be seeing with the game they're going to be playing and all that. you know, it's mainly just, you know, just a small showcase of what, um, just basically a small showcase of what you're gonna be showing the player and stuff like that, so yeah. So yeah, and yeah, a good intro can definitely make someone really excited and want to, you know, give the game a go and all that, so yeah. But of course, what is my favorite game intro? Well, it should be pretty obvious. I should at the start of the video. It is Gran Turismo 2's intro, although there is a bit more to it than that, I guess. So, Gran Turismo 2 has more than one intro. It's based on the region. So yeah, NTSC-J has the most different, or the Japanese version. Because yeah, it's much like the other Japanese intros for these Gran Turismo games. It uses a cover of Moon Over the Castle, which is basically the Gran Turismo national anthem. It's really well done in the Japanese intro, and yeah, probably one of the best versions of the song too. So yeah, especially combined with all the action that you see as well. And yeah, I highly recommend looking at the other intros too, to see which one's your favorite as well. Of course, my favorite is the one I grew up with, but yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. Then there's of course NTSC-U, or the American version. The main difference is it's more closer to the PAL version you saw there. It also uses a different song, obviously. Like the PAL version, it does use the Cardigans' My Favorite Game as the backing track, although the PAL version actually uses a different one. It's the Faithless remix for the PAL version, and then the NTSC-U version uses the original, I do believe. So yeah, I'm not like the biggest music buff in the world, I just like listening to music basically, but yeah, that's what it seems like to me. And yeah, the PAL version is pretty similar to the NTSC-U version, except that yeah, it uses the Faithless remix of the Cardigans' My Favorite Game. So yeah. So now that we've talked about all the details about the game intro, let's actually talk about why this intro is just so good, and why I like it so much. But first, let's go over why it's good. So, I feel like, yeah, it really does a good job of saying the tone. First off, we'll talk about the action that is going on. So, of course, you're seeing lots of cars flying about, going really fast, but the important thing is what cars are shown. There's a very large variety of cars, which is very important considering what GT2 or Gran Turismo 2 is all about. So yeah, Gran Turismo 1 was mainly only Japanese cars, with a few American and British cars, but I wasn't really it was like, I think pretty much like 95 or even more than that % of the game was just Japanese cars. And yeah, Gran Turismo 2 still has a big bias towards Japanese cars, but in that intro though, you're seeing a lot more different types of cars. You're seeing old American muscle cars, you're seeing American race cars, you're seeing European sports cars, you're seeing European race cars, you know, all that good stuff. And yeah, even showing off, you know, better variety of Japanese cars too, like some classic cars, some GT300 machinery, GT500 machinery is more prevalent now as well, all that good stuff. So yeah, it really just go to show that, yeah, this game is going to be so much bigger than the game that came before. And that's saying a lot, considering that, yeah, the original Gran Turismo 1, and yeah, I did mention this before in one of my older videos, but yeah, it's the best-selling game on the PS1. And yeah, it was quite the landmark release. And yeah, being able to outsell games like, you know, Final Fantasy VII, for example, and only being like a racing game too, not even a genre that people think too highly of nowadays, that's very impressive stuff. So yeah, just goes to show that, yeah, Gran Turismo was just such a big landmark, and just such a big step in the right direction for racing games or consoles. Yeah, it's very impressive stuff. And yeah, Gran Turismo 2 wanted to be even bigger than that, and you could definitely tell that with the intro as well, showing off all those cars and stuff. So yeah, it didn't sell as well as Gran Turismo 1, but it's still like, I think the third best selling game. It's still one of the best selling games on the console, so yeah, it was still quite the massive success. Anyway, of course, a good intro also needs a good backing track as well, and yeah, a lot of the best intros in gaming have these, because yeah, having a good song that matches with what's going on can really hype up the player. And yeah, that's exactly what this intro does for me, at least, because yeah, music is very subjective, so yeah, I'm not expecting everyone to like the soundtrack as much as I do, but yeah. That's the thing though, let's go into that now. So yeah, of course, like I was saying before, the PAL version uses a remix of, it's called the Thiefless remix of The Cardigans, my favorite game. And yeah, it just sets the mood so well. Like yeah, it doesn't like perfectly set the mood. That's probably what the Japanese version does with the rest of the soundtrack, but yeah, if we're talking like the licensed soundtrack, that's using like the races and stuff, because yeah, that is also another big difference with Gran Turismo 2 and its different releases. Every version has a different in-game soundtrack. So yeah, the Japanese version uses instrumentals, uses some instrumental tracks. I believe they were composed by the composer of the game as well, so yeah, it's original soundtrack basically. But then yeah, the NTSU version uses a licensed soundtrack, so does the PAL soundtrack, but they're different actually. And yeah, I feel like yeah, my favorite game just suits really, really well with what the licensed track is going with, I feel like. But yeah, I think the more important thing though is that yeah, it makes the game feel like epic and stuff. I know that's not the right word to use, I guess, but yeah, the game just feels so grand. Like yeah, this game is gonna be bigger than life. At least that's what it makes me feel like. So yeah, that's why I think the backing track just works so. Of course, yeah, it's just a really good song in general, so that also helps as well. And yeah, it just fits the action that you're seeing as well, with all the cars flying around, like I was saying before. And yeah, all the high speeds you're seeing. So yeah, that's why yeah, I really love the backing track. It's definitely one of my favorites. And yeah, it's not the only racing game intro that has a really good backing track. Like I remember like, you know, V-Rally 2 with its soundtrack by Sin had a really good intro there as well. Its sequel, Gran Turismo 3, the sequel Gran Turismo 3 I should say, in the PAL version at least, it has Just a Day by Fever, and that's an extremely good intro song as well. And yeah, it's the definition of hype, that's for dang sure, so yeah. And yeah, I could probably go on and on, but yeah, again, just having a really good backing track is just so important, and yeah, definitely my favorite game is definitely one of those favorites of mine, I guess you could say. So yeah, that's why yeah, it's such a lovely song for the intro of this game, right? Because again, like I keep saying, yeah, it just makes the game, or the intro just feel so grand. Like yeah, this is real racing, I guess you could say. This is not just, you know, kart racing, arcade racing, this is real driving. And yeah, that's what the game is all about, you know. Gran Turismo is of course the real driving simulator. I think that yeah, that song really helps encapsulate that basically, so yeah. But anyway though, so of course, why is this intro of all intros my favorite, I guess you could say. I did already talk about the reasons why I think it's such a good intro, but yeah, of course, there is more to it than that. I feel like this game intro just means a lot to me, and that's why it's probably my favorite. Even if, yeah, there are definitely better intros out there. Like, yeah, I've played the Persona games, and the Persona games have amazing intros that really set the game, have great backing soundtracks, of course, all that good stuff. Like, yeah, I think, like, Persona 3 has one of my favorite intros, of course. That's the first one that comes to mind. And yeah, even, like, Persona 1, Persona 2 have some pretty good ones too. But yeah, back to, of course, Gran Turismo. So yeah, what is the PAL Gran Turismo 2 intro? Why is that one my favorite? So yeah, of course, nostalgia is one thing, because yeah, if you don't already know, Gran Turismo 2 was the first game I've ever played, or at least remember playing. Yeah, I was given a hand-me-down PS1, and then yeah, I played this game on that for a little bit, until yeah, I jumped ship to my PS2. And yeah, that's when the other Gran Turismo games came to my life as well, so yeah. So of course it's nostalgic, and I do remember, I think my first gaming memory was watching that intro too, so of course the nostalgia is going to be real with that one, so yeah. That's why, yeah, that's why it's kind of like, you know, such a important moment to me as well. And yeah, that song of course was stuck in my head for a long time as well, and yeah, I wouldn't ever forget it as well, I feel like. Especially once the internet came, I was able to watch the intro over and over again there as well, so yeah. So good. Of course, let's talk about what's happening on the screen, you know, with the action stuff. I think that's one of the best things about the intro for me at least is just how many cars are shown off, obviously, but also yeah, there's a good mix though. I saw a lot of cars that I was familiar with, but also a lot of cars that I wasn't familiar with. So yeah, that got me interested in the cars that I knew about. What are they going to be like in the game and stuff like that? What are they going to be like to drive? And then also the cars that I wasn't familiar with. What would they gonna be all about? You know, I get to learn about them too. And yeah, Gran Turismo 2 does do a good job of showing off those cars as well. So yeah. And yeah, one thing I probably should mention before is just how good the intro looks too. I'm pretty sure it is like, an FMV or a CGI cutscene basically. But yeah, it looks really, really good. Especially for, a 1999 game. So yeah, of course, that also really just, meant so much to me, to my younger self as well. And yeah, I think another thing too is that, yeah, it really just got me interested in playing more Racing Games 2 probably as well. And yeah, that's what, and then yeah, the Racing Game genre became my go-to for, for a long time to come up. It wasn't until like the 2010s when I started to look at other types of games, so yeah. Of course, it really set me on that path of, one of my biggest interests, which was of course cars, obviously. I think, yeah, with my younger self, it was definitely cars that were probably my favorite thing before games, but now, yeah, nowadays it's games that are my favorite things, so yeah, there's that. And yeah, of course, one thing that really, made me happy as well was being able to, finish Gran Turismo 2 as well. Many years later, because of course my younger self, I'm pretty sure I didn't even have the right disc to beat the game, because yeah, it's a 2-disc game. The first disc is for arcade mode, it also has the intro for the game that we keep talking about, and then disc 2 is the main Gran Turismo mode, and that's where you go complete the game. And then, yeah, being able to complete this game too, many years later after that, yeah, that was one of the best feelings after that, because this is the game that I played first, so being able to beat it too, yeah, meant so much to me. So yeah. And yeah, with that intro though, that was one of the main reasons why, I remember this game too. I think that's also kind of an important thing about a game intro. It can help you remember a game as well, especially if it has a really good intro too, and one that's really meaningful as well. Like, this one for me as well. And yeah, even the other Gran Turismo openings are pretty good too. Like I said again, I think Gran Turismo 3 also has an amazing one too. That was also super memorable as well, but yeah. GT2 was definitely the one for me, so yeah, there's that. I don't think there's anything else I really need to talk about on the subject of this intro. Again, it's a very good one, of course. It's probably not a very popular opinion that it's the best intro ever made for a game. There's probably others that I think are more well-liked, of course, probably from more popular games as well, especially nowadays. But this is the intro that comes to mind when someone says game intro for me, so yeah, that's why, again, I really want to talk about it on this, I guess, anniversary, and yeah, I really want to share that with you as well. Of course, also share my experience with, Gran Turismo as well, and why, yeah, it's such an important game series for me as well. So yeah, and yeah, game intros like those are, yeah, one of the main reasons why. Yeah, Gran Turismo still uses game intros to this day, and yeah, they're still like really cool looking as well. They really, show off just how nice looking the games are as well, especially nowadays, so yeah. But yeah, back then though, yeah, that song, of course, having a good song too also helps. I think, yeah, it was mainly the in-game soundtracks, so I feel like, yeah, listening to my favorite game probably, yeah, maybe interest in that form of, or that genre of music, I guess you could say, and then, yeah, I wanted to seek out other kinds of music that sounded kind of like it, so yeah. That was also interesting to think about as well, so yeah. But again, it was mostly in-game soundtracks that would define my taste in music. Mainly like licensed soundtracks, like I think Burnout 3's soundtrack, for example, was one for me as well, and Burnout Revenge as well. That really set my taste in music, so yeah. But of course, this is probably the catalyst though, this game intro, and yeah, maybe Gran Turismo 3's game intro as well, so yeah, there's that as well. It's really interesting stuff to think about, but yeah. Of course, maybe I'm being a little bit nostalgia blind or nostalgia biased, but yeah. Again, it's kind of hard to dislike something that was your, your first, so yeah. That's why, again, this intro, of course, has tons of meaning to me because of that, so that's why it probably has to be my favorite, so yeah. Again, I don't think I have anything else to add here, so yeah, I think we'll end this episode here, so yeah. That is my favorite game intro, and yeah, here's to maybe, hopefully, some more, years to come making videos as well, so yeah. And yeah, hopefully this is a good, worthy video to show this as well, because yeah, I wasn't expecting to get this far, I guess, especially after my first upload, which yeah, that was definitely on a whim kind of thing, and yeah, it was also something that, yeah, it was definitely a very different kind of video for what I'm making nowadays, but yeah, I am glad that I'm at a pretty good spot, and of course, yeah, I have lots of people to talk about with my videos as well. Yeah, I hope that, yeah, this one was a pretty interesting one, and I would like to hear about what other game intros I should think about as well, and what are your favorites as well. I'd love to hear about that as well, so yeah. So that's it for, yeah, this video, so yeah, look forward to what I have in store next, and yeah, I'll see you guys again for the